All right, we're live. Welcome to Interview with a Man, episode number 185. And I'm joined by my good pal and fellow influencer, one of the hottest dudes in the world, Mr. Myron Gaines, coming all the way from sunny MIA, the land of hypergamy, as he likes to say. How you doing today, Myron?
What's up, dude? Good morning. How are you?
Good. It's nice and early here in the great state of Wyoming. It's just turned 7 a.m.
Holy crap.
Rolling out of bed here, but I'm really excited to have you on board. And guys, before we get started, just don't forget, tonight is the last opportunity for you to get into body language mastery. After 11:59 p.m. tonight, you will never be able to get into the body language mastery education program. And what this is, it gives you a head-to-toe breakdown of female body language to let you know whether she's sexually interested in you or not. It also gives you access to a mini men's body language course, right? Which is going to be coming out either this week or next week. But all members who enroll 100% will be getting this. And the creme de la creme really is you get access to the webinars, okay? Now, the webinars are done every single day from January 6th to January 27th. So every day, you'll receive an email twice a day, and that email will say, hey, the webinar is open, and you'll come into a digital room with like your cell phone, your laptop, your iPad, your computer, whatever you want. And as long as you have a microphone and a camera, you can participate. You don't necessarily need a camera, but initially you will need a camera because I need to see the face of all the people who enter, okay? You come in there and you get to talk to experts like myself, like Myron here, Richard Cooper, Rollo Tomasi, John Fitch, Donovan Sharp. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. We're actually going to have a BDSM session as well. We're going to have a live model, and we're going to be demonstrating the BDSM technique of mummification. So, I mean, literally the A to Z breakdown of every little question you had as a man about how to be a better man, how to get more sex, whatever it is that tickles your fancy, we have this coming up for you in these courses. Now, if you do not make it to these, that's also okay, because these are recorded and edited, and they will be released to you 100% for free at a later date. In addition to that, you'll also get access to what happened in quarter 2, and you'll get access to what happened in quarter 3. So that right there is over 80 hours of video coaching you get absolutely for free as well. And if that doesn't tickle your fancy enough, that's not enough. You get lifetime access to the men's only Facebook group, which I personally moderate and take care of. And it is nothing like the Rule Zero Facebook page at all. It is not a mess. It is not memes. It's not people crying about, feminism. It's not men talking about how they want to find their one true equal partner who will support him and he can talk philosophy and all these things with. We don't fill your head with lies. We tell you exactly how it is. And the men who are cut out for this, they rise to the top. The ones that don't, hey, God bless you. Get out there and do your best. So if you want to join, click the link in the chat right there. Registration spots are filling up fastly, and they will not last. This is the last one. modernlifedating.com, modernlifedating.teachable.com/P/body language mastery. But click on the link in the chat there, and you can join. Myron, you have joined Body Language Mastery since quarter 1, when there was only 9 of us in the Google Hangouts for the webinars, and you showed up pretty much every day. What are your thoughts on the whole program, and what do you think about, even a guy like you, a high level guy, what did you gain and learn from the webinars and the course itself?
First and foremost, man, I want to let guys know that this is way more than just like body language or some kind of like PUA type dating thing. This is like about becoming a better man in general. We got financial experts in there. We got lawyers in there. We got cryptocurrency experts in there. We got fitness experts in there besides myself. We got high-level military guys. So you, from being in these seminars, like coming in these webinars, you're going to learn just how to be a better man in general. This isn't about just getting your dating life sorted. That's minuscule. This is about being a better man, making more money, being more assertive, being a leader. You know what I mean? And that's what it's about, being a better version of yourself. You know, it's way past limit, guys. You know, I'm in there. I'm providing fitness information to all the guys in there. You know, truthful stuff, no BS, science-based, giving guys information that really works, getting them the result. And there's a bunch of guys in there that are experts in their own field that you can learn from. I mean, I got a guy in there that I'm talking to with cryptocurrency. There's millionaires in there like Rich Cooper, who I'm talking to about, you know, building my financial portfolio and becoming a millionaire in the next couple of years myself. So this is what it's about, guys. It's about becoming a better version of yourself. This is way past girls and dating. It's just, you got to be a better man. This is what it's about.
Yeah, it's that's exactly what it's about. And you know, I'm mentally preparing for the long gruel that it is. It's a grueling teaching session for me because, you know, it just takes a lot of time, but the results are always there. And you know, that's what I'm here for, is just getting the results of these guys. I mean, we've seen men's lives change overnight, and we've seen men's lives change over a course of 3 to 4 to 5 months. So if you're a guy that really just wants to get your life sorted out, and you're just kind of tired of, you know, you're tired of eking your way through life, you're tired of just always having to take, you know, the second choice, you're always having to eat that silver medal or that bronze medal, and you're just really wanting to get gold, this can be the course that pushes you over the edge. And it's the complete course itself. I'm not just talking about the video course. It's the video course plus the webinars plus the what do you call it? The men's only Facebook group as well. So keep that in mind. You are going to want to do this if you are serious about having a different year. Like, you know, we are at the end of the year, and honestly, you have to ask yourself, are you going to just keep on half-assing your way to mediocrity in your life, dragging your feet, not really applying yourself? Or are you tired, and are you just ready to take your whole life to a brand new level and say, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to try something new. I'm going to take action. I'm going to build the life that I want to build. I want to build the body I want to build. I want to build the finances I want to build. I want to build, you know, the harem of women that I want to build. Like, it's up to you. It is possible. It's not impossible. The only X factor is you taking the time and making the action of this investment. If you do that, I guarantee you, your 2020 will be the best year of your entire life. So many of my guys told me 2019 was the best year of their life. So get in while you still can. That's all I got to say.
Absolutely, man. To add on to that, like I said, you know, in the fitness world, if you've always done what you've always done, you're always going to get what you've always gotten. So you got to take action. If you're not happy with your situation, whether it's with women, finances, fitness, you know, there's someone in this group that can help you. You know, I brought the fitness to the table, and then there were financial experts in there that I started leaning on and learning from. Business experts, digital marketing. I learned from Jonathan a bunch of stuff about social media. So there's someone in there that can teach you and make you better in some kind of facet in your life that you're lacking. We can always, you know, the measure of a man is his willingness to be better. And, you know, to become better, you have to humble yourself and learn from people that already know how to do it. If you don't have a mentor, you're fucking up, like, just straight up. So there's guys in there that know something that you want to learn. Like right now, I'm trying to get into crypto and learn, get better finances, like make more money than I'm already making. So there's guys in there that are millionaires that you can learn from. So got to take action, guys. That's all I got to say.
Absolutely.
Simple as that.
And so we'll talk about, you know, I actually met Myron here through the course. I didn't even know who he was. He was just some guy who was super, super excited to be part of it, and who just, you know, religiously attended over and over and over again. And he is the man. Like, he really he just really wanted to be part of this, and he attended all these webinars despite working a full-time job, and not like a full-time job like he's the head baker at Krispy Kreme. Like his job is very, very, very demanding and sometimes life-threatening. So, you know, he still made the time, and he also decided to start his own little side business up on top of dating every girl in Miami. So, I mean, if this guy can do it, you guys can do it too. There are no excuses. Keep that in mind. So, yeah, man, let's just jump right into it. So, obviously, New Year's coming up, and you want to talk to us a little bit about your story first, because you were first a little chunker, and then you made a mistake, you said, with your training, and you got a little fat, and then you lost it all, though. That's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, so a little bit about my story. So I actually grew up, guys, as a skinny dude. I was 6'3". I'm 6'3" right now, about 203 pounds. I grew up skinny. I was 6'3" or 6'2" in high school, 166 pounds. I went to college, lifted weights right when I graduated from high school, built up some mass. In 2015, I did an experiment, and I did something what a lot of people in the bodybuilding world know as a dirty bulk. And I got up to around 250 pounds. I was living in Texas at the time. And yeah, dude, I was fat as hell. You know, I had a gut protruding. I was like, you know, ripping jeans, and it was terrible. And I learned the hard way that getting fat in the in the pursuit of muscle gain is not the efficient way to do it. So I lost the weight. It took me about 7 months to do it, but I was able to do it through a structured cut. It took forever, but I got it done. So I've been on both spectrums. I've been skinny and I've been fat. And I'll tell you guys, it's best to be in shape in the middle. You don't want to be either or, you know, and especially in today's world, you know, with the obesity epidemic, diabetes, heart disease, these kill people, guys. This is serious. You know, you got to take your health serious nowadays, and you know, you got to go to the gym, you got to train, and you just got to minimize that fat gain and watch your diet. So it's imperative, man. And that's kind of my story of how I got into shape myself. It took a long time, but you know, I've been training now for about 11 years.
Did you notice a difference in the quality of women you got versus how you are now to when you were fat, Myron?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, I hate to say it, but people judge you on two things: how you shake their hand and how you look in a shirt. And if you're fat, man, I hate to say it, but people just judge you completely different than when you're in shape. When you're in shape and you walk in a room, especially if you're tall, people notice that, and they gravitate towards you. It's easier to be more confident, which in turn makes you more magnetic, which makes you more charismatic, and people just are drawn to that. So it's important, man. It's really important. You know, look good, feel good. I know it sounds cheesy, but it really does play on itself, and it builds upon itself, and it gets you the confidence to be able, if you do see a beautiful woman and you want to approach her, you know, you have that confidence that, okay, I can squat, I can lift weights, I've challenged myself in the gym. It's you versus you every day. So when you know, it's not that hard when you want to go up to a woman and say hello and introduce yourself, you know. So it's important. It's really important in all facets.
Yeah, man, it's extremely important. And it's nothing cheesy about saying look good, feel good. Listen, the bottom line is this: when you look good and you know that you look good based off of your personal standards, not because your mom tells you you're handsome or your boys are like, yo, you look great or whatever. But when you put on an outfit, you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, okay, man, I look fucking good. Dude, that kind of confidence that you walk around with, you can't buy that. And if you could, they would be sold out all over the fucking planet because you are invincible. There is nothing that can stop me when I know that I look good and I'm going out and I see girls that are hot and I'm like, I look hotter. You know, there's just like, you know, there's no equalizing factor at all. Looking good makes you feel good, and feeling good makes you perform excellent. And when you're performing excellent, now you're a top tier man. So it all starts there. When people want to think like, you know, they say, you know, it's always fat people and ugly people saying this, but they're always like, oh, beauty is only skin deep. I'm like, yeah, okay. Deep like the deep fried food you eat every single day, right? No, like the reality is this. In psychology, there's something called the halo effect, okay? And people will treat you better. They will assume you are more intelligent. They will treat you better. They will think you are a more generous tipper just by you being attractive, and they will give you the
Very true.
benefit of the doubt. They will give you preferential treatment. Dude, being good looking is a superpower. So if you can't really lock that down and sort that out, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you, because you're playing the game on hard mode. And every man, I think every man can become a solid 8 after just working out for 1 year in the gym. I don't care how ugly
Absolutely,
you are.
man. Yeah, like, the thing is that people got to understand that in life, there's not many things you can control. A loved one can die. You can go bankrupt. You can lose your money. You can be rich one day, lose all your money another day in crypto or some kind of investment. The reality is the only thing you can truly, truly control is your fitness and your health. Like, you can control that. There is absolutely no excuse to be fat in 2019 going into 2020 with all the knowledge that's out there that's free from people. Now, with that said, I will admit that there's an abundance of information and a lot of bad information out there, which is why I started my business in the first place, Unplugged Fitness, which is all about getting people the truth in fitness and teaching them what really works and what doesn't, But with that said, there's no excuse to be fat with all the information out there. So, that's the one thing you can control, and just got to exercise discipline and become a better man. And if you're in shape in the United States in 2019, you have a huge edge as a male, because the obesity rate is out of control. Granted, I live in Miami, so I don't see it as much. Everyone here is fairly in shape. A lot of good-looking people that live here. But you go to other parts of the States, man, it's ridiculous, So
Yeah, I'm in Wyoming, and they could use some of your coaching out here. Man, I saw this girl the other day, man. I couldn't believe it. I was just like, this is a woman. But this woman sat down at Chipotle, and like her burrito bowl actually stopped here, right? But the food was like double the size of the bowl. It was like it
Jesus.
was here and then here. And she was a big girl too. I mean, her ass was like as big as my torso. And I was just like, I was watching her wolf this down, and here I am, like I have a huge burrito, but I can only eat half of it. And then I took the other half home and I ate it for dinner like a couple hours later. So I just see quite honestly, Americans are, Americans do have a stereotype, and it's like fat, loud, and stupid around the world. People are like, oh, here comes the Americans. They're
Unfortunately,
fat, they're loud, and they're stupid. And every time I'm in Tokyo, I see some ham planet waddling on down into the train, not aware of the Japanese people around them, on their cell phone, yelling at somebody with like a drink or something in their hand, talking. And it's just like, I see them and I'm just like, oh my God, it's just, I can't even. But you don't want to be that person, and that person is growing in numbers. So if you, like I said, another thing is when I went back to the States, man, especially with everybody being so fat in the United States of America, if you can have a superhero like body, and I'm not talking like, you need to be super, super tank status, but if you can just have like a svelte look, like a low body fat percentage, like I would say anywhere between 155 to 175, 10%,
yeah, you don't got to be jacked.
body fat. I mean, that right
You don't got to be jacked at all.
that right there is beyond enough right there. And you'll stand out. You will absolutely stand out.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't know. Brad Pitt in Troy was about 155 pounds, guys. Being a low body fat creates the illusion of size, especially if you have the golden ratio is 1.6 shoulder width to waist ratio. That right there is the golden ratio to create that illusion of size. So whenever guys train for superhero movies, that's what they're going for. And you don't have to weigh that much. You're somewhere around 10% body fat. And with those dimensions, you're automatically going to look massive. And that right there is actually, from studies show, that's the most attractive ratio for females as well, for the guys out there that want to work out to be aesthetic. So, it is what it is, man. Your fitness is something that you can control. There's no excuse to be fat as a man in 2019. There's no excuse to be even skinny. You can build your body. There's a bunch of information out there, and proper nutrition, proper training, proper rest, which a lot of people seem to miss out on.
Mm-hmm.
And that gains are inevitable. Time plus consistency equals results, which hopefully we're going to teach you guys a little bit about that today. Number one New Year's resolution is to lose weight in the United States, right? So we thought we'd put this together for you guys, give you one more day to enroll in the body language mastery course, join a league of guys that have their shit together, quite frankly. And like I said, there's guys from all demographics, all types of expertise that you can lean on and ask questions and learn from.
Yeah, and for all you guys, just so you know, if you check the click on that link, it'll lead you to the Body Language Mastery sign up, but it'll also lead you to my free fitness course, which has 2 parts to it right now, which is the lecture section about health and then the cooking demonstration section. And all of that information that I had mentioned in the lecture demonstration was sourced here from Myron Gaines, from Unplugged Fit. So, this guy, he is truly not full of crap at all. So he's going to talk to you a little bit. He's going to take the lead here and going to go into what is most important and in regards to burning fat. We're talking about fat loss today. That's our main priorities today, because 9 times out of 10, most of the guys, I see a lot of guys in the States, they're big dudes, but they're carrying around like 25 pounds of extra fat that if they lost even 15 of that, they would look phenomenal. So
yeah, for sure.
Let's talk about that, Myron.
For sure. Okay. So guys, we're going to talk about fat loss. It's going to kind of give you a sneak peek into what you would see in the seminars. I typically do lectures just like this with PowerPoints, and we go really into depth with everything. And we have a Q&A at the end. So going to give you guys a sneak preview of what we kind of offer in the group and the quality of information you get. So I gave you a little bit of background about me. I was skinny growing up as a teen, grew up thin my whole life, did an experiment, dirty bulking, got fat as hell. Now I'm here. It took me about 7 months to lose the weight back in 2015, and I've been maintaining a lean physique ever since. So with that said, guys, we're going to talk about fat loss. Okay. So to understand fat loss, and I'm going to say this, anyone that's on a diet or some type of workout plan that's trying to lose weight, I'm going to say this right now. If you're not tracking your calories and your macronutrients, you're fucking up, straight up. That's the reality, because energy balance dictates weight loss. So if you're not tracking your calories, this is literally the equivalent of getting in a car and driving somewhere you've never been without a GPS. That is the same exact thing. So that's rule number 1. So I'm going to go from A to Z about fat loss, right? And normally I do a PowerPoint presentation for this, guys, but we got a little bit of a tech issue. So I'm just going to go off word. Feel free to take notes and pause the video as needed. It's going to be recorded. So first we're going to talk about calories, okay? So simply put, calories are a measurement of energy in food. The number of calories on a food label tells the consumer how much energy is in each serving of a given food. I want you guys to keep in mind that the States, there typically tends to be a 10 to 20% variance in the calories on labels. Calories are made up of 4 macronutrients, guys: carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and alcohol. Alcohol is a macronutrient, believe it or not. But we're not going to talk about alcohol in this presentation because that could be a whole nother podcast. So like we discussed, calories are made up of carbs, fats, and proteins. Carbs are the primaries. To give you a quick little summary of each, carbs are the body's primary source of energy. It contains 4 calories per gram. Protein is the building block of muscle and lean body mass, and that contains 4 calories per gram. And then fats, which are important for hormone regulation and other essential vital functions, that is 9 calories per gram. So that is the most calorically dense macronutrient of the 3. And just for those that are wondering, alcohol is 7 calories per gram. So now that we know what makes up calories, let's talk about how calories are burned, okay? So your body burns calories through 4, and I'm sorry, guys, just came from a workout, so I'm sweating like a pig here. But your body burns calories through 4 primary means, okay, guys? First is basal metabolic rate, or BMR, okay? This is the cost of energy for vital body functions such as breathing, the metabolic capacity to, keep the lights on, basically. So if you were in a coma, that's basically you at BMR, okay? This is just to keep the lights on, right? The second is non-exercise activity thermogenesis, aka NEAT, all right? This is calories burned from everyday activity, such as, walking around, doing errands, fidgeting, etc. This basically is all non-deliberate exercise, all right? Next is exercise activity. Obviously this is self-explanatory. This is lifting weights, doing cardio, yoga, etc. This is all deliberate exercise. And then lastly, we got thermic effect of food, all right, which is the energy expended to burn food that you consume. So for example, protein has a very high thermic effect, which means it's very metabolically taxing for your body to digest. So it burns calories just to take it in. This is why guys that are on keto diets or high protein diets tend to burn more calories just from their diet alone. Okay. So the important takeaway here, guys, is that BMR, NEAT, exercise activity thermogenesis, aka EAT, and your TEF or thermic effect of food, these equate to your maintenance calories. This is also known as your total daily energy expenditure, or TDEE. Okay, that's just a fancy way of saying your maintenance calories. All right, your TDEE is basically what you eat to maintain your current weight. All right, so now that we know what a calorie is, what a calorie is made up of, your macronutrients, and then how your body burns calories, let's talk about calories in versus calories out, or CICO. Okay, so this is the moneymaker that I really want everybody to really understand. Calories in versus calories out dictates weight loss and weight gain. If you gain weight, you're in a calorie surplus. If you lose weight, you're in a calorie deficit. If you do not lose weight, you are by definition not in a calorie deficit. All right. Now, with that said, any diet will work. Okay. Now that we know that CICO controls everything, any diet will work if the subject is in a calorie deficit. All right. So, typically, I use a pyramid here to illustrate the importance of hierarchy, but I'll just quickly go through it with you guys so that you guys have it in your head. So there's a couple factors, main factors when it comes to fat loss of what actually matters, okay? So number one is behavior and lifestyle, okay? Are you in the right mindset to begin this journey? Are you sleeping enough? Are you minimizing stress? This is the basic lifestyle habits you will have to help you adopt the foundation for success. Next, which is very, very important, is sustainability and adherence, okay? This is where you decide your diet path, whether you want to go keto, intermittent fasting, snake diet. I hope you don't do that, but whatever diet that's going to put you in a calorie deficit to get to your goal, it's got to be sustainable and able to be adhered to, okay? So next is what we talked about with CICO, putting yourself in a calorie deficit, all right? The bottom line and requirement for any diet to work is to put you in a caloric deficit, all right, to induce fat loss, no exceptions. Next is exercise. Obviously, intelligent training is critical to the preservation of lean body mass, okay, or your muscle mass. And then next is self-monitoring. What doesn't get measured does not get managed, guys, all right, which we're going to discuss that a little bit later. Next is protein and fiber intake. Protein is by far the most important macronutrient to manipulate whenever you're trying to improve body composition. That's just the reality. Fats and carbs obviously matter as well, but when it comes to truly improving body composition, and when we're talking about improving body composition, guys, we're talking about improving your lean body mass to fat mass ratio. The better the ratio, where you have more lean body mass than fat, the better you're going to look. That's just the reality. And then obviously fiber as well. Fiber is very important. And then last is carbs and fat macros, all right? And then actually one more after fat, the carbs and fats, supplements, which I forgot to mention, but as we all know, supplements, guys, make a very small difference. And supplements only work assuming you're doing everything else correctly, okay? So now that we know, hierarchy of importance, behavior and lifestyle, adherence and sustainability, the caloric deficit, exercise, self-monitoring, protein and fiber intake, carbs and fats, and then supplements, lastly, now we're going to talk about application in your fat loss journey, okay? So these are the things that I basically implemented during my diet when I went from 250 pounds to about 205 pounds. And I have it on my Instagram. We'll do a share screen with you guys here soon to show you the transformation. But yeah, this is what I did.
Pink shirt one, yeah?
Yeah, that one. Yep.
This one right here.
Yeah, that was me, guys. Fat as hell. The picture on the left was taken, I think, around August of 2015. And the one on the right was taken of July of this year, which I'm a little bit leaner than that now. I've been dieting a little bit, but that's me at about 205 pounds, 6'3". And yeah, guys, it can be done, man. And you can absolutely transform your body with consistency, time, and just being disciplined. So this is what I did to lose the weight, guys. Number one, track your calories and your macros. Okay, like I said before, what does not get measured does not get managed. All right. Second, diet on a slight calorie deficit to maintain sustainability and preserve lean body mass. Aim to lose no more than 0.5 to 1% of total body weight per week unless obese. So if you're 200 pounds, you shouldn't be losing more than 2 pounds per week. And you want to diet slowly. I even dieted slower than that. I lost 1 pound a week. And the reason why you want to do that is, number one, it makes it easier to diet, especially in the beginning. When you're dieting, you don't want to feel like you're actually dieting. It should be fairly easy the first 2 or 3 months. And then the second reason is you want to maintain your performance in the gym, okay? Which we're going to talk about that here soon. Next is eat at minimum 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, okay? Now, there's a bunch of studies out there, which we'll link in the description box for you guys, showing that, upwards of 1.5 to even 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight is shown super favorable results when it comes to preserving lean body mass, improving body composition in general. And some guys even build muscle and burn fat at the same time while dieting, assuming their macronutrient profile is on point, they're manipulating their calories correctly. So high protein diets have been shown in several studies to be super favorable to body composition. And then next, which a lot of people make this mistake, is you want to prioritize weight training as your predominant form of exercise. So many guys make the mistake. January 1st, they're in the gym running on the treadmill an hour at a time, doing 2 a days on the elliptical, whatever. You don't want to be using cardio to induce the calorie deficit. You want to be weight training and minimizing cardio and let the calorie deficit do the work for you. Because when you're weight training and you're in a calorie deficit, your goal is to train with those same heavy weights that got you the muscle mass in the first place and diet nice and slow so that you preserve the performance. Preserving the performance in the gym, lifting the same heavy weights that got you the muscle with a calorie deficit over time is what's going to help you preserve that lean body mass when you actually diet down, so that you don't become a skinny fat version of yourself and you actually maintain that hard-earned muscle that you work so hard to get during your calorie surplus period. Okay. Next, like I just discussed, train hard. The same weights that you use to gain the muscle, you want to lift those same weights to retain the muscle. Okay. Don't change your training to high rep or, cardio type exercises, circuits, etc. Next, cardio. Now, cardio can be used, but I would use cardio at the end of your diet or when you start hitting sticking points or plateaus. Okay. Use it as a tool to induce a calorie deficit. Minimize it as much as possible. I personally recommend 1 to 2 HIIT sessions per week or 4 to 5 low intensity state sessions per week max. Okay. Next, obviously, like I've been harping the whole time, track your progress. Take a photo of yourself once a week and weigh yourself every day, or weigh yourself once a week. Or if you weigh yourself every day, take the average of the 7 days and track that down. And if you're not losing weight, at least now you have it documented so you can figure out a game plan or a strategy on how to continue to lose the weight. Because I'll tell you this, guys, said on Donovan Shaw, said a million times, plateaus when it comes to fitness, it's like death and taxes. It's coming at some point. So you got to be ready for it. And you got to set yourself up in a position where you have a lot of wiggle room to play with training variables so that you can continue the weight loss. That's why you don't want to diet on a super severe calorie deficit, because you basically effectively limit your ability to change variables up to continue the weight loss. Mm-hmm. Just track your progress, guys, and be consistent. A consistent training with suboptimal a consistent training plan with suboptimal techniques is way better than an optimal program with sub-consistent training. You know what I mean? Consistency is a key over time. So those are some basic tips, guys, on how to lose weight in a healthy and sustainable manner and preserve lean body mass, which is the key that everyone wants to do. Anytime someone says, I want to tone up, the reality is what you really want to do is you want to preserve that lean body mass while losing the fat. Losing fat is much different than just losing weight, guys. So that's my basic gist on fat loss. And
I think that's solid, guys. One's in the chat for that solid speech. Give this man his due digital applause. I would say I really wanted. Yeah, you're very welcome. I really wanted to focus on this because, in America, especially when I came here, like I went to Chipotle yesterday and I was like, yeah, give me a small drink, right? And so I live in Tokyo, so I was expecting a small drink. I was expecting like a drink, maybe like, this big, right? They give me a small. The thing is about as long as my head, the cup. And I was like, this is a small drink. I was like, lady, are you kidding me? I can feed a friggin' small village in Africa with this. Like, it's so huge. Most Americans are eating too much. Most Americans have no idea what a calorie even is. Most Americans don't know how to time their meals. They don't know how to efficiently track their calories. And they are all overeating. I would probably say at least at least 85% of all Americans are overeating in one way or another.
Yeah, man. It's crazy because the reality is, especially here in the States, when you go to other countries, like the food portions aren't as large as here. And people have a gross misrepresentation of how many calories are actually in their food. A lot of the times when I take on new clients, the first thing I tell them is, they're like, hey, I want to start next week. I'm like, okay, do me a favor, man. Track your calories for the week. How many calories do you think you're taking in a day? Oh, I think I'm taking in 2,000. I'm like, okay, well, do me a favor. Track your calories for the week and let's get an honest assessment of what you're actually taking in. 9 times out of 10, when they actually track what they're eating 500, 1,000 calories over what they think they're eating. And you compound that over days, over weeks, over months, over years, and there's literally no question as to why the obesity rate is so high. People just simply not knowing that, like, there's 9 calories and 1 gram of fat. That adds up quick. When I eat at Chipotle like almost every day, and there's a reason why I don't eat the cheese or the sour cream or even the guacamole, because I know that that's extremely calorie dense. And you guys got to look, I look at calories and nutrition kind of as like a budget, right? So let's say, let's say you do the math and you figure out that you need 2,500 calories a day to lose weight. That's your budget for the day. So can you go and eat cupcakes and, still lose weight? Yes, you can. They've done studies where they've taken people and had them eat McDonald's and put them in a calorie deficit and they still lost weight. But are you going to feel good? Probably not. Is your performance going to suffer? Probably. Are you going to feel good? No. So it's just not efficient.
Let's be honest. Everybody feels regret after they eat McDonald's.
Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. and then not only that, but like your satiety levels are going to suffer because you're not going to feel full off of eating that. So you're going to be more likely to overeat. So the reality is, people need to treat their calorie allotment more like a budget. So like, if I know I only can eat 2,500 calories for the day, I'm not going to go waste 500 calories on a bag of gummy worms and then like binge eat later on at night a pizza because like I just don't feel full. So when people are more cognizant of how many calories they're taking in, it's going to make them a lot more honest about what they're doing and adhering to a lifestyle that's more conducive to success. And this is why all these diets, these fad diets, these fasting diets, they're so popular now, because what they've done is these diets have basically taken out the guesswork. And what they do is, okay, just eliminate carbohydrates. Okay, just fast for 8 hours or 16 hours, and that puts a lot of people into a calorie deficit inadvertently. Whereas if those people were just a little bit more, cognizant of what they were eating and tracking calories and discipline, they would have been able to eat what they want and still enjoy life, but track it and this is why Weight Watchers actually did so well, was because they had a point system, but what they were really doing was having people count calories through a point system. So now with the technology of MyFitnessPal and all these nutrition apps, people can actually track their calories, and there's no excuse to be overweight because what's in food now. So, sorry, Jonathan, I think you were going to say something. I didn't mean.
No, you're good. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to kind of simulate what we would have in our webinars. So this is just like what we're going to do in our webinars. I'm actually going to put the join link in the chat right now. So click on that link right there. And if you guys have any fitness questions that you want to ask Myron or myself, click on that link right there, StreamYard.com. Come in with your question, all right? And we will be able to answer your question here live on the air. While we're waiting for that, I've got a couple of questions for you, Myron. So
sure.
You're talking about satiety, right? Which is like feeling full, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Feeling the healthy full, not the disgusting full, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. If you were to eat whole foods, healthier foods, right? Which are you going to feel more satiety from? Is it you're going to feel more satiated from eating junk food or eating whole food? What do you say?
Absolutely, whole food all the way, especially high protein foods, because high protein foods tend to be low calorie and dense. Like you eat 8 ounces of chicken, that's going to fill most people up, along with some rice and then some vegetables. Vegetables also have a pretty satiating effect, and you're getting the benefit of micronutrients, that actually benefit your recovery, your overall vitality. Drinking water, that's why I keep a gallon of water with me everywhere I go. All these things help you stay satiated, which prevents you from overeating. And definitely eating healthy foods is going to make you feel more satiated because they're lower in calorie. You can eat more of it, and then and you just feel better overall. And the good thing is you do that throughout the day, and then let's say you got 200 calories at the end of the day, you want to have a little snack. a little treat, you can do it, but it's all got to be within tracked and measured.
And it's so easy to screw up your daily calories, because
For sure.
it's like, it really is a balancing game. But at the end of the day, it's so worth it. So let's bring our main man on. Let's see, Muhammad. Muhammad, you there, buddy? Hey, pal. Your microphone, I don't know if it's working or not, buddy. It looks like you're frozen there. He's all the way calling in from Dubai, so it's a little bit tougher. All right, Muhammad, I'm gonna let you go, pal. Sorry. I can't. It's just that just sucks.
Muhammad's a good dude.
Muhammad's
my brother.
Man, Muhammad is the man. Okay, here we go. I'm going to bring up a super chat question we have here from Philip. Philip says, does Myron have an opinion on devices like the Power Dot for recovery and gains?
Ooh, good question, man. I was on Donovan's show yesterday talking. If I'm not mistaken, I think the Recovery Dot is a heart rate variability type device, which basically measures your heart rate and your recovery in between. So actually, we did a myth bust day, and that was actually one of the topics. And to distill it for you guys, heart rate variability when it comes to resistance training is not good. It's not effective. It's not accurate. As a matter of fact, one study actually showed that it inhibited progress in the gym because it told someone they were under recovered when in reality they could have went to the gym and trained. So, and it kind of hurts because I come from an endurance athlete background with Division I rowing. So, and we used to use HRV type training all the time. But when it comes to resistance training, improving body composition and hypertrophy, aka muscle growth, it is not a reliable method to use to assess recovery. So you got to do that on a day-by-day basis.
Let me ask you something else. And I got another guy here who has a pretty good question. This is interesting. Though. Jason Ramey says, what do you do when nothing makes you feel full? I feel like he's eating the wrong foods right off the bat, in my opinion.
Yeah. So if you really want to feel full, man, go ahead and get 99% lean turkey, ground turkey, cook up a whole 16 ounces of that, which is like a pound, get half a bag of spinach and like some blueberries and blackberries. And that's going to make you full, man. That's going to be fairly low calorie. It's going to be a huge meal and be under 1,000 calories. I actually posted on my Instagram. I'll repost it for you guys. And I put the full macros out there, one of my typical post-workout meals. And that's a lot of food. So, definitely lean protein with some kind of low-calorie fruit source, blueberries, blackberries, strawberries, your best friend, especially when you're dieting. And then a bunch of spinach and kale. That'll make you full. Trust me.
You know what else?
And drink water.
I would say that makes you full. Sit down and try and eat 12 boiled eggs.
There you go. That's another one that's going to fill you up.
12 boiled eggs and tell me how full you feel after that. Instagram yourself eating those 12 eggs too.
Yeah, your stomach's gonna explode, dude. Yeah.
Rich had a really good comment here, and I wholeheartedly agree with him on this. And I think you shared the same sentiment. He says, a key for my weight loss was to stop drinking my calories. So many Americans are woofing down these venti milkshake coffee things from Starbucks with like 800 calories in a drink. 800 calories. How long does it take? Man. How long does it take to burn 800 calories off of you? How long does it take? Like 2 hours of running, 3 hours of running?
Yeah, man. The big mistake that people think is that they think that they can out-exercise the caloric surplus. If you're overeating, guys, exercise isn't going to offset that. You know what I mean? Especially if you're weight training. So you really got to be cognizant of what you're taking in. And I think, yes, you should absolutely not be drinking calories. You should be drinking water, maybe black coffee if you want. And if you have like a sweet tooth for soda and stuff like that, you can have diet soda, but obviously not in crazy amounts. But yeah, man, you should be literally drinking water all day. You should be pissing clear to make sure that you're hydrated, to maintain optimal performance. And yeah, man, you should not be drinking calories. If you're drinking juice and full calorie soda and all these other like sugary things and, caramel macchiatos at Starbucks and stuff, no, man, that's not the way to go. Especially if you're in a, like I said, calorie budget, man. Especially if you're trying to diet and lose weight, hell no. Cut that stuff out. That's going to be the easiest thing to cut out to put yourself in a deficit.
Yeah, definitely. Let's take a look here. Muhammad has a question here. He says, just wanted to get Myron's thoughts on nitric oxide in general and whether to mix half a scoop with half a scoop of pre-workout or 1 scoop of both.
Okay, so
tell us what is nitric oxide for the audience first?
I'm pretty sure, if I recall correctly, because I haven't taken it in forever, it's to help you get a pump in the gym. It basically helps with blood voluminization and getting a great pump in the gym.
It increases circulation and the size of your veins to let more blood go to your muscles.
Yeah, essentially. I would say, man, you're just better off with taking a pre-workout, focusing, and going to the gym and just training hard. And another thing I want to say, and we're going to talk about this in the body language mastery course. I'm going to do a presentation on hypertrophy. Guys, chasing the pump is actually counterproductive at times to actually building muscle. Though we all love chasing the pump, there was a bunch of studies show that chasing the pump can actually be counterproductive to hypertrophy if that's your primary goal. So what you should be focusing on is like progressive overload, getting better in the gym over time, whether it be lifting heavier weights, doing more reps, doing more volume. Volume is one of the biggest driving forces when it comes to hypertrophy. So chasing the pump, it's all good and dandy. And I know Arnold talked about it back in the 70s and pumping iron, but it's not really, it's not the best thing to chase when hypertrophy is the goal. So I would just use a pre-workout or creatine. Those are probably better supplements than nitric oxide.
Very good stuff. I'm checking something out in the meantime. So it looks like somebody sent a question with a PayPal donation. So give me 1 second. Well, let me go back to the chat real quick. Afi King, welcome. Red Pill Mamba has a pretty good question, and I think I'm going to know your answer to this. He says, what do you think about Gatorade?
If you're not an endurance athlete or like an athlete that's expending a lot of calories, I wouldn't drink it. I mean, unless you really enjoy it, I would get the low calorie stuff. But, as a normal guy going to the gym and training with weights, 4 to 5 times a week, you don't need Gatorade, man. You don't need it.
But okay, so why do you not support Gatorade? What is inside of it that you don't support? What is the reasoning behind your methods here?
Because the calories aren't worth it. If your goal is to lose weight, optimize body composition, weight training, resistance training in general is just not that taxing to the point that you're going to need Gatorade and electrolytes as you work out. This is a big reason why BCAAs are fairly useless as well. So, if you have the calorie support and you want it, cool. But like, I personally wouldn't drink Gatorade in the gym. Like, you shouldn't, it's just not, the average guy is not going to be really needing it, unless you're like a high level athlete and you actually need those electrolytes and you're performing. It's different, different story.
What if you're a guy and let's say you're doing, let's play a little devil's advocate here. Let's say you're a guy and you go to a Muay Thai class and you're doing Muay Thai for 1 hour. And so if you've ever done a Muay Thai class, you're you're dripping sweat, you're gasping for air. It's like doing the erg kind of back when you were doing your crew days. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. In that case, where you're actually competing in like an athletic activity that requires optimal performance and hydration, then yeah, Gatorade is good. But like for the average Joe, going to the gym, lifting weights, doing your 5 sets of 10, typical bodybuilding style training to improve body composition, Gatorade isn't really needed for most people. You're not in the gym long enough to justify the use of that. And it's just extra calories that you don't need that you could be using on other more nutrient dense foods that are going to actually aid in your recovery, So that's how I look at it. It's like a budget type thing. Is it worth it? Can you have it? Yeah. But is it worth it? So it comes down to like your personal preference.
Very interesting. Yeah, I personally, I've been drinking a lot of Gatorade these past couple of days because I've been sick. So I've been just hammering them because I think they better hydration source than just drinking water all the time because I'm over here on the verge of death. But
but if you do drink Gatorade, I would say just go for the lower calorie option. There's nothing wrong if you're going to drink the lower calorie option. That's a much better choice, obviously. But the full calorie stuff, we're talking 300 calories a bottle on some of these things. Yeah, I wouldn't. No. Yeah, I would drink the low calorie.
Okay, and then we got another question here, guys. Keep the questions coming in. Don't forget. Listen, I put the join link in the chat here. So if you want to get on stream here, click on that link right there, streamyards.com/whatever that alphanumeric code is. Just get in, click on that link, join us right now, and you'll be able to be part of this conversation and actually get free help right now from a guy who's probably
man.
in better
Join in,
shape
guys.
than you.
Join in, man. I love helping you guys out, man.
Yeah, good stuff. Let me see. What do you think about this here? So our buddy Aaron says this. He's pretty hardcore with the carnivore diet, and he's lost a lot of weight. He was really fat, and then he's actually gotten down. He's very shredded. I think he's like 6 or 7% body fat now. What are your thoughts on the carnivore diet? Because I know that. I mean, I don't know how I could manage just eating meat all the time. I just don't know. I feel like I would grow tired of it, or I'd grow bored of it, or it'd become annoying. But what do you think about that?
My thing is this. I'm not for any particular diet, but I am anti-zealot. And when I say zealot, diets, unfortunately, in 2019 and probably going into 2020 and beyond, have basically created like diet religion, like people that literally treat diet as like religion. And if you don't subscribe to their methodology of eating, you're an idiot. And the reality is this: they did a meta-analysis a couple years ago, which is basically a fancy term for saying they combined a bunch of studies. And the truth is this, guys, I'm going to say this twice because I really want to hammer this home. When you equate calories, protein, and fiber among different types of diets, there's virtually no difference in fat loss. I'm going to say that again. When you equate calories, protein, and fiber among all the different diets, there's virtually no difference in fat loss. So what matters? Adherence and sustainability, and what's best for your lifestyle, what is conducive to your success. So there is no best diet. There's just a best diet for you. So I do eat meat. I do eat meat, and I do eat a very strong plant-based diet as well. I eat a shit ton of spinach and kale. I drink a lot of water. I eat everything. So, I think it's best to have a balanced diet, but if guys feel better on a carnivore diet or a ketogenic diet and it helps them adhere to their goals and their diet, then go for it, man.
All right.
But
we got a guy here on the chat here, Scott. Scott, welcome to the show, buddy. How you doing?
What's up, John? I signed up just before I did this.
Oh, good. Congratulations.
Awesome. Welcome.
Did you have any questions for Myron today about fitness?
Yeah, I got it. Yes, I have a question. I have a question that I've asked a million people, and I'm just going to ask it again. So let me try to word this right. As far as my biggest concern with myself is that I overtrain. And some people tell me you can never overtrain. Like, as far as like average Joe overtraining. Not like, I'm not talking like I'm competing for something. I'm talking about like, if I go to the gym and do chest and tries for 2 hours, and then 3 days later, I do chest and tries for 2 hours again, to the point where I'm significantly tired, can I potentially be overtraining?
Okay. Excellent question, man. So I'm going to answer this as best as I can in a nice and concise answer. So, yes, it's true. It's very difficult to overtrain, but you're probably overreaching, which are two different things. And overreaching is basically like, I would say, think of it as like a short-term overtraining. So I will tell you this. How long have you been training? Like in the gym consistently?
Roughly 5 to 6 years.
5 to 6 years. Okay. So
not consistently. Let's say consistently 3.
Okay. So I would peg you as an intermediate. So there's something called, and we talk about that. I'm going to do a presentation on this in the body language mastery course where I go into depth about hypertrophy and volume. But I will say this: there is something called maximum recoverable volume. Okay, shout out to Dr. Mike Rizertel on that. But basically, your MRV or maximum recoverable volume is the amount of volume that you can do that you can actually recover from. You're probably more than likely exceeding that. If you're doing chest and tries for 3 hours and then again 2 hours, okay, and then doing it again 2 days later, you're probably doing, and just to give you a number so you can quantify it, around 20 sets is most people's maximum recoverable volume. Even like up to advanced guys, they're right around that red line. So if you're doing 20, like, and when I say 20 sets, I'm talking about real sets, not your warm-up sets or your bullshit sets where you're like going through the motion. I'm talking about true working sets where you're actually pushing yourself. You can only do about somewhere between 10 to 20 quality sets per week that you can actually recover from and actually grow from. So you're probably exceeding that if you're doing 2 hours of chest and tries. So I would, to give you some practical advice that you could take right here, right now, I would break that up into 2 or 3 sessions per week where you're actually getting quality volume in and making the sets better quality versus doing everything in one shot and trying to squeeze it all in. So I would, frequency is your friend when it comes to getting an adequate volume. But you can hit me up on the side and we could talk more about it extensively if you want.
I added you on
Body language
Instagram.
mastery. He'll be in the body language mastery webinars, so we can definitely.
Okay, absolutely. And I cover this in detail in my hypertrophy presentation, which you'll get to see.
And we also do, he has it with presentations, PowerPoint presentations, everything. I'm just at a remote computer right now, and there's not PowerPoint on this computer, so we couldn't do it. But this is just a sneak peek of what we offer behind the scenes on the Body Language Mastery webinars. Scott, did you have any follow-up questions? If not, we wanted to move on to some other people.
No, I just wanted to ask that. I asked a lot of people that question, and I just tend to go to the gym too often, I think.
I don't think so.
You're definitely exceeding your MRV, man. Nothing wrong going to the gym. It's just about making the most out of your time in the gym and getting quality sets that matter. You're definitely probably exceeding your MRV, especially one of the biggest indications they're doing too much volume is if your strength is not progressing. And if you're not seeing strength gains, you're probably doing too much and you're not recovering in between. And you probably haven't done a deload. So those are some tips that you can apply now. Hit me up on the side, then we can talk about it in more detail. I can help you out.
Cool, man. Hey, John. Thanks, guys. Have a good
Scott.
one.
Scott.
Take care. Have a good day today, pal.
Welcome.
All right, so that's our man Scott. He is popping in. My buddy Chris has a question from Facebook. He says, "What are the difference between a plant-based protein and a non-based plant-based protein in regards to protein shakes?"
Excellent question, man. So the reality is, guys, that plant proteins a lot of them are not complete proteins with all the different branched chain amino acids, right? Namely, the most important one that a lot of the plant proteins lack is leucine, which leucine is basically one of the kickstarters of muscle protein synthesis, aka recovery and gains as far as like increasing hypertrophy. So what I advocate to any and don't get it twisted, guys. Anybody can look. You can still make gains on a vegan diet and build a great physique. Anybody that says you can't build a great physique on a vegan diet is an idiot. The reality, though, is that on a vegan diet, you just have to be a little bit more cognizant of your protein intake. So what I advocate is for vegan guys, you want to take in somewhere between, just to be safe on, like extra insurance, you want to be getting a variety of different types of plant-based proteins, and you want to get in a little bit more than the average guy. So if you're normally on a normal, let's say animal-based or a different animal-based protein diet, you'd be taking in 1 gram per pound of body weight of protein. I would say on a vegan diet, you want to go 1.2, 1.3, just to be on the safe side so that you get adequate protein so that you don't limit your gains. Great question.
That is a solid question. He's a good guy. He's really smart. Good old school friend of mine, Chris. Glad you're watching in here, pal. I got another one here. Okay, here's a simple one. What's your go-to meat?
Personally for me, I like ground turkey. I like salmon and, chicken. I do get some steak too. I got a meal prep service that I work with that they bring me steak and chicken and salmon. But if I'm going to cook myself, because I'm a lazy fucker, which I admit, I do 99.1 ground turkey. Very lean. I know exactly how many calories is in it, and it's easy to cook, and I just eat that.
Okay, let's go to the next one. How many calories are burnt while sleeping for an average build?
Ooh, yeah, that's 100% dependent on the person, their metabolic capacity, how much lean body mass they have on their frame, how long they sleep, the quality of their sleep, their genetics, how lean they are. There's way too many variables to actually properly get an answer to that. I'm sorry.
Let's do the next one. Extra Guac says, Myron, do you recommend bone broth for a cutting diet? What's the best way to enjoy it if so?
Well, I mean, when you're cutting, guys, there's no food that's really off limits. It's just got to be within your caloric allotment and more namely your macronutrient allotment depending on how you choose to set up your macronutrient, distribution in your calorie deficit. So there's no food off limits. You just want to, I would say 80-20. Healthy food, 80% of your foods, micronutrient dense healthy foods, and then 20%, you want to have a steak or some candy with your girlfriend or whatever, cool.
Okay, how about this one? This is a one-on-one question, but what, in your opinion, are some of the worst foods we can eat?
Number one, guys, there's no stupid question. Ask away. This is why we're here, guys. No question is stupid, okay? You're just stupid if you don't ask it. Some foods, the worst that you can eat, anything that's super calorically dense that's going to fuck you up with your caloric allotment for the day. So if you know you can only eat 2,000 calories and you're eating a Big Mac, which is 1,000 calories, and 700 of those calories are coming from fats, and you already messed up your macros for the day, that's a bad food. So I would say it's dependent on what your caloric allotment is for the day or your goals.
I would say just anything deep fried is probably not a good idea.
Yeah, it's probably going to mess you up because it's super high in fat. And then you really, in most diets where you're in a calorie deficit, your fats are going to tend to be, only 20. I wouldn't do more than 30% of my total caloric allotment devoted to fats, unless you're like on a keto diet or something like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, super fat dense foods are almost always going to fuck you up because they're just so high calorie, and they're hard to track, especially if you're eating like at a fair or like, some kind of like restaurant that doesn't give you the calorie. So,
okay. How about this? This is kind of a simple one. How to burn calories on an off day.
Just live your life, maintain a calorie deficit on your training days and on your off days. Mm-hmm. And, it's all and remember guys, don't think of calorie because your body works on a 24/7 basis. So you don't want to be in a calorie deficit it doesn't matter if you're in a calorie deficit every day. What matters is, are you in a calorie deficit for the week? Start looking at it weekly, monthly, and then obviously that'll lead to gains yearly. So it's being in a total calorie deficit over a prolonged period of time. So if you mess up one day, let's say you go over 500 calories one day of your goal, go under 500 the next day. You know what I mean? So it's a total energy balance. I like to do it weekly.
Yeah, good stuff. All right. Here's a psychology question. How do you deal with stress?
Oh man, yeah. There's a bunch of different things for it. Listen to music that you enjoy, go to the gym, hang out with people that aren't toxic and vampires of your energy. Surround yourself with, which I kind of had to learn this year, surround yourself with people that are going to benefit you in some way, and just limit your sleep more. Just do everything you can to keep yourself positive, and a lot of that comes from your environment. Surround yourself with positive people. I know that sounds cheesy, but it really does help.
Good stuff. Let's do a couple more here. We got Tommy. Tommy was making fun of you earlier. he said, is organic food really better or is that BS?
Yeah, man, it's hit or miss. So like when they say, organic berries or something like that, or organic apples, I still feel like they spray pesticides on them. So I just get the normal stuff because it's cheaper, or strawberries. So, I mean, with fruits, I feel like it's BS, but then when it comes to like grass-fed beef, I feel like that might be beneficial. So yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of it is a BS, to be honest with you, but I could just be jaded.
Very good. Okay. Adam Simmons got one. He says, I can gain or drop 5 pounds literally overnight. Is that water retention or something else?
Well, I would have to know a little bit more, but if you're dropping weight that easily and quickly, yeah, it's probably water. Keep in mind, guys, that for every gram of carb that you take in, your body holds on to about, 1 to 5 grams of water for every gram of carb that you consume. So, you're going to retain a little bit of water. And if you decide to cut carbs significantly, you're going to drop water. So it could definitely be water retention.
Good stuff. And then Scott has this last one here. It says, is intermittent fasting mainly just a way to make a caloric deficit easier? That's what it seems like, but they act as if it can cure AIDS.
Yeah, man. Great question. Yeah, the reality is, guys, intermittent fasting is just a tool to help people put themselves in a calorie deficit. Because if you give someone a clock and tell them, hey, you can only eat for 8 hours or 6 hours or 4 hours, whatever, their eating window is, people are going to be less prone to overeat, thus putting themselves in a deficit, thus losing weight. And that's why intermittent fasting works for so many people. There tends to be this myth, but intermittent fasting, creates HGH suppression, excretion or whatever. And the reality is, guys, just because your body releases HGH, that is not anabolic. I want to say that again. When you intermittent fast and you eat and then you get HGH release, that is not anabolic. You know what I mean? I know it sounds crazy because it says growth hormone, but trust me, it's not anabolic. If that was the case, I'd be jacked during Ramadan because I'm fasting. In reality, I'm just losing all kinds of gains. So yeah, man, it's not anabolic, guys. So intermittent fasting is just a tool to put yourself in a calorie deficit. It's not special.
Okay, let's take a look at Simba here. He says, if you're overweight and trying to lose weight, is it okay to work out every day for 30 minutes? I think his head's in the wrong place here, but
some exercise is better than no exercise. So if you're a sedentary person and you don't exercise at all and you got to start by walking around the block to get yourself started, fucking do it, man. As long as you're getting up and doing something to better your life, great. But if you want to do the optimal path, you got to lift weights. You got to make weight training the cornerstone of your physical activity. And then if you want to supplement it with cardiovascular activity, you can. But you definitely want to lift weights because that's the most efficient way to put lean body mass on your frame. Lean body mass is a metabolically taxing tissue that your body has to carry. So therefore, you effectively make your body less efficient at holding on to calories. Makes your body rev through calories. So think of it like when you lift weights, you train your body to become a Ferrari versus being a Honda Civic. You want to be a Ferrari. You want to be inefficient with gas. That's what putting muscle on your frame does. You want to rev through calories. So that's a, I guess, analogy we can use. But
yeah. So guys, listen, we're going to can it right there. But look, if you enjoyed that little mini session we had there, imagine doing that every single day for 21 days in a row for 4 hours a day, 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours a night. That is what the Body Language Mastery course offers to you. In addition to that, we don't just talk about fitness, but we have experts just like Myron in fitness, in finance, in cryptocurrency, and asset management, okay, in female management, in womanizing, in multiple women management, okay? We have the whole 9 yards. If that doesn't satisfy you enough, we also have the big dogs coming in there. Rollo Tomasi, Richard Cooper, Carl from Black Label Logic, Ryan Stone, Donovan Sharp, MMA fighter John Fitch, Ed Lattimore, heavyweight boxer, Vince from Masculine Geek. We're literally gonna have a live BDSM education section where we're gonna mummify a woman live on camera. I'm not joking. She is his girlfriend. She's actually volunteered to do this. It is 100% consensual, and we're gonna view a live mummification. I mean, every single thing that you want to learn to do as a man, whether it be better at sex, how to last longer in sex, best sex positions, every single thing that you think you need help with as a man, we can help you with it. And we're going to do it right now by letting you join into Body Language Mastery. The link is in the chat right there, guys. I'll tell you this, okay? I'll tell you this. At midnight tonight, it's over. This program is done. This is the end all be all. There will never be a Body Language Mastery program like this ever again. I'm never going to come back and be like, oh, guys, surprise. Like, I'm going to reopen it for like 5 days. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And I'm telling you now, for you guys watching on the replay too, do not procrastinate. Make the investment into yourself and get into this program now. You are not going to want to miss out on all the high quality stuff. Me and Myron had to speak with filters and censor ourselves on this one here. But behind the scenes, I'm telling you, you guys get so much more. We just can't say exactly what because we'll get banned off of YouTube the way they've been going lately. So that's going to do it for us, guys. Be sure to follow Myron on Instagram at UnplugFit. The code is right there on the screen. Send him a DM today. Tell him you saw him on the show. If you're interested in private coaching, I 100% stand by him. He's an ethical and good guy. And I don't do business with scumbags, as you know. So I've already heavily vetted him all the way since Q1 in March when I met him. I've met him twice at Hot Dude Con Orlando and Hot Dude Con Phoenix, Arizona.
Had a blast.
He's going to be a longtime friend and more importantly, a longtime business associate. So get in. That's all I got to say. Stop procrastinating. Your procrastinating got you to where you are today. And if you are
Take action, guys.
Yeah, you are where you are today, and you're probably not happy if you're constantly tuning into stuff like this to sort yourself out. Let us sort you out. Get your credit card, get your PayPal, do whatever you have to do. Sell your Xbox. I don't care. Join Body Language Mastery because it closes tonight. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.
Later, guys.